Hey y'all. I don't know if I'll be live the whole time. I might be. We'll see how it goes, but I figured I would pop in as well and give you my thoughts on what's happening. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Line's the problem for Patrick Line is if they just don't need him. Like, yeah, if he's on the power play, he can score. But if Duke's getting the job done, if you know Demidov's getting the job done, and there's just no room for him, and he gets his, like, 30 seconds a night, then he's really not useful here. Then he's definitely more useful to somebody else than us, but, yeah, the 50-50 split for the power play. I think they were, using, obviously, the power plays a lot in the different power plays in the preseason, but it's preseason, it's different, and now that, we're in the season, I mean, Suzuki's gonna be out there for 90 seconds, like, that's just how it is. Why wouldn't he be? The other question tonight, I'd say, obviously Montembeault. Yeah, the Habs need lining. I think so too. I mean, they needed his 20 goals last year. He's healthy this year, so you think he could probably, touch 30. How's Biggie Smalls doing? Biggie Smalls is doing all right. He's sitting behind me. He might jump on screen at some point. I don't know when, but so far he's resting comfortably. Yeah, that's really the thing about Line A. It's just like, especially if Bolduc hit, which so far it looks like he is, and now like Kapanen's playing well. Well, Kapanen needs power play time too. What if he earns it? Then you're really in a place where Line A is just like a luxury you don't need. And if Marty's never going to trust him at 5-on-5, I don't know. But he's still, arguably the second most talented goal scorer on the team, so and it's still early and guys get hurt and guys get cold, so and we know that Laine can get hot, so it's obviously too early to say definitively if he's gonna stay or not, but, you know, you never know. Um, but yeah, so do the Habs have 6 forwards that are top 6? Do the Habs have 6 forwards that are top 6? I'm not sure. That's a great question. Um, they certainly didn't last year. Last year, they didn't have a second line. Last year, the second line ended up becoming the Gallagher, Anderson, Evans line, or sorry, Dvorak line, arguably. It was certainly at the end of the season, that was their second most effective line. So right now you have the top line, and then the second line is like, you know, arguably the 2 most talented wingers out of the rest right now are who? Demidov and Bolduc? And then, I mean, there's no center right now. I mean, Doc. Oh boy, Doc has come into the season. He looked pretty good in the preseason, and the first 2 games, I can't say that he's looked totally comfortable. It feels like he's back to that last season when he was pretty tentative on his knee. And then obviously, he ended up injuring his knee again. I'm not saying it's what's going to happen this time, but he definitely seems a little, you know, That's the plan. Hey, Rick, thanks for joining. That's the plan. Trust me when I say I'm a print media guy. I'm a website guy first and foremost. It was never my idea to like be on the camera and talk during the games, but I was like, where can we have comments for a little while? And then I said, "Well, let's do it on the YouTube channel because everybody's on the you guys already followed the YouTube channel anyway for Hockey Inside Out, and everybody's got a YouTube sign in anyway, right?" And then I was like, "I don't have to be, I guess, on camera. I guess in theory we could just use the chat," but I thought, "Well, whatever." I don't know how we're gonna. I don't know how. Hopefully the comments will come back fairly soon on the website. If not, we'll do this as long as we have to. Um, you guys are so amazing and loyal, and love hanging out and doing the games with you guys. So, whatever, however we're gonna do it. And yeah, feel free to mute me while you're watching the game. It's all good. I mean, I'm not gonna talk very much during the game. I will say, probably during the whistles or whatever. But feel free to mute me and just look on the chat. It's all good. I'm good. I won't take it personally. But yeah, so line A again on the fourth line just hasn't shown much. Hasn't had a chance to show much, but he's already game three. He's already in the doghouse. Um, the goaltending situation is kind of interesting already, where Sam Montembeault had a shaky first start. Dobish looked great against the Red Wings, and now obviously Montembeault's going to start again tonight against the Blackhawks. And the Blackhawks, nobody's expecting them to be defensive titans. Nobody's expecting them to make the playoffs this year, but they've got a lot of talent, and they can definitely score. So Montembeault better watch out. Um, if he gets off to two bad starts, I think it'll take a lot for Marty to, you know, not necessarily switch goaltenders, but definitely entrust Dobesh a lot more. It'll take a lot for that to happen, but at the same time, the Canadians can ill afford to get off to a slow start, and riding the hot goalie feels like, yeah, they can't afford to get off to a slow start, I would say. And then if you guys are wondering, I will be updating the score on the website as well. So if I'm looking away during this time, it's because I'm doing that probably. Hey Bob, welcome. What's the buzz in Montreal for the first two games? I would say coming into the season, there was a lot of excitement. I think people were like, "Man, the team's so talented, so good." Um, and I wouldn't say that's necessarily changed. I think people are really hyped about some of the new faces. I think Bolduc obviously has made a huge impression in the first two games. Kapanen's made a huge impression the first two games. Demidov had a nice play in the Detroit game. Wasn't too exciting in the Toronto game. So I think that's really where the buzz is right now, sort of on the new faces. I think Dobson was fantastic against the Wings. I thought he was good against Toronto. Definitely doesn't play like a flashy game, but I think he's been so far as advertised. Yeah, good point by Rick about especially the face-offs, because obviously they lost Dvorak in the offseason, who was a big face-off guy for them. And up the middle right now, they've got like New Hook, Kapanen, Doc. None of these guys are. Kapanen said he was a good face-off guy in Sweden, so obviously that's a big difference in Europe. That's probably one of the biggest changes, especially for a center. In Europe, they're quite, like, strict about you have to be sort of in the and the hash mark's there. But, here you can just, grab a guy basically, and they don't care, so he's gonna have to learn that, and New Newhook and Docker, I think, are just hopeless on faceoffs, sad to say. That'd be my opinion, and then Veleno's historically, kind of like an average guy on faceoffs, but, he's supposedly very good on the left on his side, like the left side faceoffs. I think he's gonna get into some games pretty soon, especially if they just don't know what to do with line A. That just seems to me like an open opportunity to put Veleno on a line, but, we'll see what happens there. Pre-game show is, Ron McLean walking around the Hall of Fame. Oh, he's got a Sidney Crosby jersey. Well, there you go. If the Habs are in contention. Who was it? I think I saw Pittsburgh journalist Rob Rossi. They're showing some photos of Sid with Mario Lemieux the other day, and Rob Rossi was like, "This is why he will never leave." That Sid is like loves the Pens, loves Mario, loves Chin. He's not going anywhere. So I don't know if Habs fans, if you wanna if the dream will die, but, the dream will probably never die as long as he's still playing. I don't think the dream will ever die, but I think the likelihood of him playing for the Habs ever seems unlikely. Well, like, I'm playing a little Rush in the intro. I'm sure you guys saw in the news that, also glad to be back, Randy. Um, yeah, I was gonna say that, they're playing Rush in the intro tonight, and, I'm sure you all saw, Rush are, reuniting. Yeah, exactly. What do I think about Rush touring next year? I am very excited. Now, I've my thoughts have changed on, like, artists touring either when they're old or when they're if they lose a member or something like that. My thoughts have changed on that over the years. As I get older myself and I don't wanna feel the limitations of life, I think obviously Neil's dead and, he's Rush will not be the same without him, but I think to expect Getty and Alex to never play again, is a waste. It's a waste. They're still, in great shape. They can still play. Why not just get another drummer? Like, we know it's not gonna be the exact same. I feel the same way when I reviewed, for the Gaz about 5, 6 years ago. Queen came to town, and it was, obviously, what's his name? The two guys from Queen that are left, and then, was Adam Lambert from American Idol was the Freddie Mercury replacement, and everybody was like, "Ah, he's not Freddie, he's not Freddie." He's like, "Yeah, of course he's not Freddie. That's not you nobody's going in there thinking that that's Freddie Mercury." But the guy was a great singer, put on a great show. The Queen guys sounded like the Queen guys. So, why why hate on it? Why, just because one of your band members died doesn't mean you need to go into hiding and never be seen again. I think as long as people know what they're getting, right? Like, I think with Rush, you're not getting Neil, but this other drummer looks great, and obviously Getty and Alex can still play. Getty is a massive, massive Major League Baseball guy and a Blue Jays guy. He actually, I believe, this year auctioned off a lot of his baseball stuff. He had so much baseball gear that he actually auctioned quite a bit of it off. So perhaps you got an opportunity to buy some Geddy Lee baseball memorabilia. I saw Geddy last year in Montreal. He did a book tour, so he released a book about his life, um, and did like a speaking tour about the book, Place des Arts, and, it was with Jay Baruchel. Jay Baruchel was the host, and, it was a lot of fun. I loved it. Getty's a great storyteller, so just, like, another good reason for Rush to be out on the road. They're fun guys. I'm enjoying it. You saw the Damn, you saw The Doors? That's amazing. That must have been cool. Yeah, the Canadiens played well both games. I think so too. I honestly I thought with the Leafs game, but in the 3rd period, it was still anybody's game, and then the Leafs, as they often do against the Habs, they're a little more experienced, and they just kinda, like, wait till the 3rd period, and they have, like, a nice 10-minute stretch, and they win the game. And they don't have to, like, play hard all 60 minutes. I feel like the Leafs are pretty good at that, especially in the regular season. They're good at saving their energy. Um, yeah, meeting spot. I mean, that's the idea. I know it's not ideal. I would love for us to be on the website doing the chat like we always do, but, there are technical issues that are above my pay grade that I somewhat understand, but, of course, they had to happen right as the hockey season started. Because I will say that in terms of commenting, a lot of the other sections of the Gazette, they're not as into the comments as the sports are. The sports we want the comments and we love the comments, but I will say sometimes when we post on other things, post on language or something, sometimes we don't want as many comments. That's not why though. I tell you, that's not why. There's like an actual website migration issue that's the reason why we can't comment right now. I think the first healthy scratch in the future will be Patrick Laine. I totally agree. I think it's bound to happen. I mean, if he's not gonna play on the power play and he's gonna play on the 4th line, what is the point? Just put Veleno in there. At least Veleno can take a face off on the penalty kill. Laine's, you know, Laine's a Ferrari. Sure, you just take him out for a little drive, but you're just gonna keep him in the garage? No, you gotta take him out. Val Kilmer did an amazing Jim Morrison. Yeah, I feel like, in this world of, like, terrible Instagram accounts and AI slop, I feel like I see a lot of things about the Door when I see things about the Doors sometimes on those, like, classic rock Instagram pages, they'll actually use the photo of Val Kilmer instead instead of Jim Morrison. They don't even know the difference. It's interchangeable at this point. That movie was so indelible and so, like, essential to the Doors' um, legacy, especially now that we're, like, about, like, 30 years out from when it happened, so, yeah. Val is Jim, and Jim is Val. Val, RIP as well. Yeah, that's right. You know you're old when you go to a Wiggles concert. I have not been to a Wiggles concert yet. I'm not there yet. Maybe it'll happen one day. I don't know, but I'm sure my time will come and I'll have to go see Wiggles. My question for all of you is the Hudson contract extension a distraction right now? I feel like he has not played very well the first 2 games, or he hasn't played like himself. He has not been as electric. He's made some ill-advised, uh, plays. Doesn't look like the normal Hudson right now. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be totally off the I don't know. I feel like the whole team is, like, looking like it's gelling pretty well right now, and I feel like Hudson is not among those guys, but not a distraction. I like his anthem singer. Old school anthem singer. I missed if he was I wasn't paying attention if he did a line in French or not. Oh, is this year the 100th year for the Chicago Blackhawks? Good for them. They'll get between 9 and 10,000,000. That seems to be what everybody's thinking. It sounds like the Canadiens want him to fall around Dobson or maybe a little less, so Dobson's also making 9.5. So I think they want Hudson to be on that scale, maybe make a little less than Dobson. Not so much because Dobson is better, but because Dobson's older, and when you're older, you kinda get, a bit closer to free agency, you do get a little extra bump to buy out those free agency years. Oh, they're saying he did do a little English and French. I approve. I like that. Is it distraction or just a move to focus? Always a good chicken and the egg question. No, I think it's a I don't think I don't think the media observing it is a distraction. I do think there's a legit he's not, like, fully set for the season. Chris Johnson from Sportsnet said that, he believes that Lane Hutson's father is kind of poking around the negotiations a little bit. As you guys know, Lane's father was, quite vocal when Lane didn't get an invite to the US Olympic camp. Um, so he definitely sticks his nose necessarily where it doesn't necessarily belong. So negotiations would not be that surprising as well, but, he should probably buzz off and let the professionals handle that. But the shots against that Montreal didn't take I mean, yeah, the Canadians did take a lead and were good. Like, and that the game was a bit of a no-doubter, right? So, obviously, you kinda go into a bit of prevent defense, and you let you let them take bad shots on goal. That's a fair I'd say that was pretty fair. One of the arenas in Dollar Days Armo is named Roger Doucette Arena, as it should. I do love that about Montreal, that pretty much every arena is named after somebody related to the Habs. Except for Pointe-Claire. I don't know who Bob Burney is. And I'm from Pointe-Claire, and I don't know who Bob Burney is. I shouldn't admit that. I should probably just look that up one day. The distraction only for all the questions he's being asked about it. I don't know. I do think that it's, like, legit. Those negotiations don't seem to be going, like, amazingly. And the fact that, like, now it's stretched into the season and it probably won't get resolved until the off season, that's, like, a pretty big thing, I think. Like, he had a chance to make what's 9.5 by 8,000,000, like $80,000,000 or something like that. I didn't know Lane's father around. Is it another Chucky situation? I don't know if it's on that level. Obviously, the Galchenyuk thing has been talked about before. Isn't Galchenyuk the captain of his team in Russia now, but his dad is the coach? So that never ended. That's still going on. And then obviously Max and Ty Domi was a thing. Um, I don't know if Lane's dad's like that, but, as Ryan points out here, Lane's dad did suggest that he play for Team Canada, that he could, so which obviously drew the ire of, Team USA, but yeah, I can't speak on that. I should warn you all right now, somebody's at my door, and the dog is gonna start barking, and this is right as the game is about to start, so I'm gonna go on mute for a little bit, and, let's all enjoy the game. Alright, we'll check back in a sec. Somebody's bringing pizza to the live blog? I wish. I wish we could do that. First power play of the night for the Habs. Yeah, I don't agree with that call either. Me too. I'm also expecting a lot from Goalie. One thing that I think, and I heard this from Arpin Basu, and it's true. The fact that he's going to play on the left side all season is good because it'll help him to like not take bad hits, which I think is like really the only thing. I think we would all agree that that's kind of the main thing holding Goalie back, right? Just not being healthy. So if he can stick on the left side, um, and not take any bad hits because he's not playing on his offside, then it's just gonna be better for the whole lineup. Oh, yeah, I'm drinking a Guinness tonight. Saturday night. I don't will say 99% of the time I drink water when I'm doing the live blog, but I will say on Saturday nights I'll drink one Guinness. It is not a room temperature Guinness. It's been in the fridge for a week. Uh, I did not have time to go buy beer today, so it was whatever was left. I will agree primarily that Gouli is not going to be the main puck carrier on this defense on a defense with Hutson and Dobson and Matheson, but will say that where you will want to see Gouli is being more physical. I think that would be the way that you'd want to see more Gouli. Hitting harder, using his body more. He's bigger this year. He's put on like 10 pounds of muscle, supposedly. So I think that's what we would like to see. Carrier is playing well. It's kind of crazy that Carrier is their sixth best defenseman or fifth. We'll say fifth. Like whoever, like Jack Eye Struble maybe is the sixth, but that's a sign of a really deep defense when Carrier is that low on your pecking order. I mean, that's going to be the challenge for Jack Eye. I feel like Jack Eye looks like a better player. I feel like he's steadily improving as a player, but the penalties are always going to hold him back if you can't get that in order. And of course, doesn't help that he's obviously not. The referees are never going to give him a break, so I think he's going to have to, just figure it out. Fourth bet. Are you saying Carrier is the fourth best defenseman? No, 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 no. Come on. There's Dobson, Hutson, Gooley, Matheson, and then Carrier, Jackeye in fifth, sixth. I would say that's huge. If Doc is skating more, that's huge for sure. That's really like the other thing for him is to go like with confidence along the boards and being able to use his lower half to like get the puck out, which he did not do very effectively last year. But he was also clearly not healthy. Yeah, Nazar's a good player. Definitely. Uh, the Canadians might regret. I don't know. They're not gonna regret it. Like Doc is a special mix of skill and size. I think we'll No one can deny that. He just hasn't put it together, and maybe won't ever put it together. But Nazar is looking like a good one. But I guess you can't. You never, no telling who the Habs would have drafted in that spot. Maybe they wouldn't. Maybe they wouldn't have wanted him. Struble and Arbor as a pairing is an interesting idea because obviously everybody just associates them as being like similar players, and then similarly being like left side defenseman, big, but you know, nothing's stopping them playing them together. They're gonna have at least one left side guy on the right side all season because they only have two right-handed defensemen. So, but they can mess around with that as a pairing. I could see that. It'll be really interesting. I mean, obviously, I'm not hoping anybody gets hurt, but like when somebody inevitably gets hurt, it'll be really interesting to see how they move stuff around. Because obviously, like Struble played really well with Hutson last year, so Struble could suddenly go from nowhere into the lineup. I mean, that was some classic Hutson there, buddy. Man, the Blackhawks were dogged on that penalty kill. That was a good penalty kill by the Blackhawks. I can't. Looks like you're gonna take another penalty though. But I thought that's too bad. I thought the Hawks looked really good. Yeah, Connor Murphy's one of those guys that's never gonna get a. He's not gonna get a break from the refs either. That guy's got a rep too. So 33 seconds. I mean, the Habs gotta try now. Come on. Well, Line's there. Oh man. I mean, moving the puck well, but they're not. Didn't get a clean shot on goal though. Oh man, Marty's not gonna be happy about that one. Oh, Patrick Laine. But isn't that the Patrick Laine experience, right? Just a brain dead giveaway, and then same shift, cannon of a shot almost goes in. But I mean, you can't say the Habs didn't get their chances on that 5-on-3 and then on the 5-on-4. That was a nice little attempt at a bank shot. What was that by Bolduc? And Slavkovsky was in front of the net too. So kind of remarkable. The Habs only have 3 shots on net after all that. Have they missed that many? I will have to look at shot attempts because that feels like a lot of. Helpful info for all our UK followers out there. I know the Montreal Canadiens diaspora extends far beyond Montreal. I'm in Montreal. Oh, no, good try though. They weren't they decent last year? Am I crazy? Or they were like really like bad 2 years ago, not that bad last year, and perhaps will be bad again. I don't remember now about the 5-on-3s. That's a good question. Do you guys think that the Habs are slow tonight? sloppy and agreed upon. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree that they've had their opportunities on the power play and they've been settled in the zone, still not getting the chances. But you're right, the Chicago has just been like they're chasing the puck a lot. They're just like relentless. They're definitely just younger, and I don't know if they're actually younger. I know the Canadiens, I think, are still the youngest team in the league, but Chicago are also extremely young, and I feel like have been very aggressively going after the puck on the PK so far, and it's been pretty effective for them. I mean, the Canadiens haven't scored, obviously. Yeah, I will say, as upset as Marty might be about that line A giveaway on the power play, he's got to be happy about Demidov doubling back to prevent the opportunity. And Spencer Knight has not, put it together for a whole season, but he was a very highly touted goaltender at some point, and he's still very young. And they obviously have given him a very big contract. But if Spencer Knight can put it together, Chicago's rebuild is going to end very sooner rather than later, I would say. Yeah, I think this team is. I think we can see the skill, especially adding like Dobson. I mean, we're literally out adding Dobson, Demidov, Bolduc, Kapanen to the mix without really losing any like key offensive players. Don't remind us, Ryan. We're trying to move past the 20 years. Was it 20 years ago? It's 30 years ago. Yo, we old. That was 1995. That's 30 years. 30 years ago. Can you believe that? That's crazy. I think Habs fans would be pretty disappointed if they didn't make the playoffs this season after making the playoffs last year. Yeah, Spencer. It goes to show. It's funny, these teams have like drafted these goalies really. So like obviously Florida drafted Spencer Knight really high. They had Bobrovsky. I get why they moved him. And then Nashville had Askarov and then dealt Askarov to San Jose. And I'm just like, what are you guys doing? Trade? I know goalies are, you never know what you're getting with a goalie, but man, if you drafted a goalie in the first round and you think he's an elite athlete, I think you got to give him some time. It's a bit like the Caden Primo situation, though. Caden Primo obviously wasn't a very good prospect, and he didn't turn out very good. But like with the goalies, the clock like they take longer to develop. So, like the clock until like they become, we had the problem where he wasn't. he was waiver eligible, and we couldn't send him down. But, like, he's not ready to play, so you kinda forced to play him because you don't wanna lose him, but he's not ready. That's a big issue with goalies. So sometimes it's, better to get a goalie on the second team than the first team. I am currently watching the game on Sportsnet. Um, yeah, that was a good try by Jake Evans. They did, but they only are getting, I think, 45 to 50 games. So, and TVA is maybe then going to get the rest of them, or there's going to be some combination. I mean, Amazon, obviously. What was it, Amazon? Yeah, it was Amazon last year that got a few games. Maybe they're going to get a few games. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the rest of the games. But it was nice to see that RDS is going to have more than half of the games because I think if there was a season without Pierre Hood, I think most Habs fans would revolt. Yeah, me too. Especially considering that he hasn't really played like a full season for the most part. So I was surprised that Knight got that contract, but I think no question he's an incredibly talented goalie, and with the cap going up, some of these younger teams like you just don't. You can afford to take a gamble on somebody and then like have it not pan out, basically. Or even not even that they don't work out. Like if let's say Spencer Knight just becomes like a good like a decent backup, you can like the Hawks can live with like a $5 million backup on the payroll for a while anyway. This is a definite possibility. It's definitely possible we will see more games go to streaming in the future. Absolutely, it's happening everywhere else. Why wouldn't it happen in hockey? That's it for the first period. Yeah, the power play was not great. I thought, I mean, they got settled in the zone. They had some chances, but Nah, they missed a lot. I thought they missed a lot of nets on the power play. Get the Guinness. Get the Guinness. I had it's right here. I had the Guinness. Oh my god. The green screen the green screen's taking the Guinness. I swear it's here. I swear it's here. That's what I'm thinking too, but like how many power yeah, like they might not get a lot of power plays the rest of the way. The rest might try to even it up. Yeah. I think somebody said earlier that the speed was a thing, and I think it is. I think it is. Chicago is a young and fast team. That's true. There was not a lot of time spent, not a lot of time spent in the Montreal zone, despite the 6 shots. Here, you want to say hi? My dog has joined us. He wants to get involved. Here, there you go. Oh, you can't see him, can you? Can you? the that giveaway on the power play is the kind of thing that he's gonna go back to the bench and Marty's gonna be like, "This is why I don't trust you. This is why I don't trust you, dude." He's not gonna say it that way, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Yeah. Oh, let's go to natural stat trick. Let's have a look. Do, 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 do. So the Canadiens had 6 chances and 3 high danger chances, whereas the Blackhawks had 5 chances and 2 high danger chances. So actually not that big a difference, I will say, even though it seemed like they did. Yeah, he's a cute one, Biggie Smalls, but no, he's a mini pincher. Yeah, no, Biggie is a mini pincher. He's about 8 kilos, something like that, like 15 pounds or so. Yeah, I wish I could show you. I don't know how to turn the green screen off. You can see him he's on my Instagram page. If you follow me on Instagram, which you should. I'm a little surprised that the green screen doesn't capture the dog. Somehow the Leafs game. Yeah, that's true. They were both sides were really tentative that game. I don't know if it was just like the come down from the preseason or they were just like I don't know. There was a bit of a there was like a 4-day layoff, 5-day layoff between the last preseason game and the opener. I don't know if the teams were just like I don't know. You're right though. 60-pound corgi? How is that even possible? That's a big that's a big boy. What do I feed my dog? He's on the raw meat diet. I feed him the raw meat, which I know is controversial in some dog circles, but there's a Quebec company. I don't know if I'm gonna shout them. I won't shout them out, but whatever. Famuso. They're called Famuso. and they make, like, beef patties for the dog, and so I just cut up he eats 1 beef patty a day, cut up in halves, so he has half for breakfast, half for night. I'll give him a little peanut butter too to lick, and, yeah, but I give him the raw meat, and he's in good shape. He's very lean, he's very, his poops are good, which is a good thing. Nothing worse than a dog that's, you know, got bad diarrhea. Let's put that no comment. No comment. Sorry to hear, Rick. I'm sorry to hear, bud. Yeah, hockey night in Canada. Is there any way to fix hockey night in Canada? How would you fix hockey night in Canada? Chris Pronger seems fun. Whatever. You do you, Chris. But like really, what who's he replacing? Was Elliott in those first period ones? Yeah. I tell you what, if you own a dog or you own a baby. If you have a baby. If you have a baby dog, the poop jokes, you're gonna make the poop jokes. You can't avoid. But yeah, the Prime broadcast was nice. I will admit that. Bonjour. Le meilleur buteur? C'est qui le meilleur buteur? Est-ce que c'est Zachary Bolduc? Il a 2 buts. Pas ce soir. 2 buts cette saison. Kapanen aussi. Why not? No, that's funny. Every so often I hear that and I'm like, yo, if you thought he was out of it when he was still employed, I can only imagine what a couple of years of just posting on Twitter will do to you. Trust me, I do know what a couple of years of posting on Twitter will do to you. I would be remiss if I didn't, by the way. Hold on, let me go find it for you. Love it. You love to hear it. I hope you're doing well, by the way. Hope you're feeling a little better. My aunt had foot surgery and was very happy to finally get it. She waited a long time for it, so I'm feeling a lot better now. I'd be remiss if I did not post on YouTube, our YouTube or on YouTube, but, Hockey Inside Out is back for another season, and we've got a full season, coming of Chris Nilan and Rick Green. They are amazing together, and Stu's hosting. It's gonna be a great time, so please tune in every week. They're gonna drop every Wednesday, barring, you know, unforeseen news or something happens. So the new episode is gonna be every Wednesday, and then on, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you'll get your bonus episodes. So we had today, bonus episode on, Nick Suzuki speaking French and, whether that still matters, and, for Chris and Rick, yeah, it definitely still matters to them, and, Chris talked a little bit about sort of his adventures and learning how to speak a little bit of French in this market, and, obviously somebody joked, "Does Chris even speak English?" I only say that because I know he'll appreciate that joke. He'll find it funny. Oh, I love that. I love, like, no matter where you live, you're still a Habs fan, and you, like, pass it down to your kids, like, that's the best. That's the best part about being a sports fan, right? You could be a fan of the team wherever you are. Yeah, Biek's is probably the most popular guy on that whole CBC crew. Seems to be most people that I know who talk about, uh, Hockey Night in Canada will say, like, "Ugh, hate all those guys." But Kevin Biek's is okay. Some people like Elliot's kinda hit or miss. Some people don't like Elliot, actually. I think people like the news that Elliot brings. I'm not sure everybody likes Elliot too much as a personality, and then, I've always liked Chris Pronger, I guess, is new this year, but, I mean, I've seen him before, and he's pretty funny and crass in interviews. Seems like a smart guy, so I think he'll be alright. Me too. I will say, like so I came into the Gazette full time in March, so I've been, like, more working behind the scenes than I had previously when I was just doing a live blog, and, I will say that the show really hit its stride when we locked in Chris, Stu, and Rick. Like, that trio is amazing. They really know the game, they're so connected, they're they, like, bring that nostalgia, but, like, not too much, like, just the right amount of nostalgia, and they like to, like, argue with each other, which I think makes for an important show, but, no, I love those guys. That's true. We definitely have some readers from outside Montreal who still keep up to date. Love them. I think I would. Honestly, if I let's say if I moved somewhere else and I didn't work for the Gazette anymore, I think I would just still be a Montreal guy. Honestly, all my Montreal all the guys I went to high school with who, like, lived somewhere else, they follow Montreal news more than they do wherever they live. Like, if they live in Toronto, they have no idea what's going on in Toronto. Like, they probably don't even know who the mayor is, but they're still, like, asking me about Cavendish extension happening or, "Oh, I heard there's a big pothole on Park Avenue." Like, they still care more about that than wherever they live now. Love it. So you've seen a lot of iterations of the show. I'm totally agree with you. I did not like every iteration of that show. There definitely took some time to get some stride. They did the in-person ones for a while, which was super cool, but it was definitely, like, out of our budget to keep doing that. Yeah, the Buffalo Sabres are cursed, possibly. I mean, I saw that Josh Norris injury where the poor guy who's had so many injury problems literally can't even take a face off without getting hurt. Now they're saying he's gone for, like, a significant amount of time, and that guy's well paid, big extension, supposed to be your 30-goal guy, play center. Wow. Buffalo can't buy a break, and knowing them, probably won't even get McKenna first overall. Probably be Pittsburgh or something. Alright, we're back for the second period. They totally do. Not only did Nyland and Green know the game really well, they're still really connected. Like, they're not like a couple of guys who just, like, watch the game passively on TV and give their opinion. Like, they're both still really, like, dialed into what's going on, which I really appreciate about them. We miss you guys too. I think Montrealers feel a way about, like, the people who left because 'cause I'm like, "I get it. I get why you left." But at the same time, I'm like, we're gonna hold it down for you here a little bit. But I hope you guys get to come back sometime. I hope you guys get to come back and visit and get to see how much it's changed. Like, if you go downtown around the Bell Center, it's, like, unrecognizable. If you haven't been here in, like, 5 years, it's unrecognizable. You can't even see the Bell Center anymore. It's, like, completely covered by, like, everything. Hate to break it to you. No, they moved the bricks over to the other side. They're still there. They're not where you remember them, but they're still there. I will say the Habs are trying these like cross ice passes, and the Hawks have mostly had somebody there. I live 10 minutes away from the Orange Julep, and it is a problem because every time I drive anywhere and I have to go home, I usually pass by it, and enough so that if I drive by, I can see if there's a lineup or not, and if there's no lineup or if the lineup isn't too bad, I'm gonna stop. And the worst thing is I still don't get tired of the julep. I can eat there twice a week and, like, not get tired of it at all. Still so good. There's also a million things on that menu. Not that I ever order anything other than maybe 2 hot dogs, poutine, and a julep, but there's a lot there. That was some nice work on that sort of lower triangle there. This is where it pays to be short. If Caulfield was 6'4" and he had done that, might have been closer to the crossbar than it was, but, are they gonna review it? I don't think so. It's a league-initiated review. Yeah, I was gonna say, if Chicago is contesting this, they will be wrong. Nah, doesn't look close to me. I don't that last angle, what do we say? Good goal. 1-0 Habs. Yeah, Bolduc's, this guy's doing it all. And they just put him right on the top power play. That's a bumper. Like, I understand the trade, but like, what is Logan Mailloux gonna have to do? Like, Bolduc scored 19 goals his rookie season, and Mailloux say what you want about Mailloux and his potential, but, like, he hasn't has he played, like, 5 games in the NHL? It's a risk, man. That's what people do for a right-handed defenseman. I know people think that they trade a lot for Dobson, and they gave Dobson a lot of money, but, like, teams will literally trade a 20-goal scorer for a guy who's hasn't played any games, who happens to be a right-handed defenseman. Oh my god, you guys are talking about divorces in the chat. You guys are making me laugh. You guys are funny. I tell you that much. You guys put a smile on your face on my face. He was thrice divorced, right? What was his name? Matt Foley? Matt Foley was thrice divorced, I think. So Rick's got one more divorce, and then he can be Matt Foley, which is the greatest SNL sketch of all time. Is it? I don't know. I think it is. It's the one that I quote the most with my friends. So, isn't that really the barometer of, like, how good a sketch is? That is a nice goal by Chicago. We're tied up at 1. Right off the draw. Oh, man, we got a brawl. They're all fighting. Holy. Demidov! Demidov dropped the gloves. No, he's still got his gloves on. He grabbed a guy. Grabbed a very hirsute guy. Oh my goodness. Oh yes. Tyler Bertuzzi. Why am I not surprised Tyler Bertuzzi's in the middle of all this? I think Florian Jacki will be up sooner rather than later. Honestly, I think that's why they let Sammy Blais go. They did not need to leave Sammy Blais. Sammy Blais could have. They literally have one less guy on the roster. They could have just had Sammy Blais sitting on the fucking. Sorry, I in the press box, but they clearly decided that Jack Ryan and Jack are ready to go. They can just stay between the, stay in the minors. Oof, Goalie with the knockout punch on Crevier. Well, we were talking earlier about wanting to see Caden Gooley be a little more physical, and I would say that we got it. No, it wasn't a KO. Crevier was bleeding and he kept going. I typed a little fast. You're right. It was not a KO. Here, we'll put that up. It's true. I was typing fast. Unreal. Unreal. Bolduc, 3 games, 3 goals for Bolduc. Unbelievable. What a tear this guy's on. Yo, Bolduc is wow. Can you imagine? Like this team's already sort of getting better. This team's on the upswing. Could you imagine if they acquired a local guy who could maybe score like 30 goals in a season? The season, the city's gonna go mad. The city's gonna go mad. So Ryan, the reason why the Blues traded Bolduc is because they had Jimmy Snuggerud coming in, who they felt deserved a top 6 spot right away, and they had no defense. Like their defense is decimated. Like Krug's gone, Krug can't play more. Letty's gone. Like it was so old and bad. They had nobody on the right side. They needed a right-handed defenseman, like anybody, somebody young. Uh, so Bolduc was like, I think Bolduc had a high shooting percentage last year. I'm sure they were like, he's not a real 20 goal scorer. He's like probably like a 15 goal scorer, and he's a good player. But they were like, we can afford to get rid of him and uh, get Mayu, who we think is legit good. Mayu's gonna be a great defensive. Mayu has all the tools in him to be really, really good. Absolutely. The guy's big, he can skate, he can move the puck, he can hit. Yeah, if he's young, he can put it together. Absolutely. That could be, you know what, that Bolduc Mailloux trade is probably gonna go down as the one of those rare trades where both teams got exactly what they want, and both teams are happy. I think that's what's gonna happen. Because I think even if, like even if like, Mailloux ends up being really good for the Blues, I mean, the Canadiens just got Dobson. I'm sure they're just like, "It's fine. Like, we can live without him." Yeah, it really was a trade of strength for strength, where the Blues had a lot of forwards to trade, and the Canadiens had an extra defenseman to trade, which is rare. Ooh, this game's getting feisty. Yeah. Well, obviously, we're gonna do that because David Reinbacher, they drafted, 5th overall, and they need to, uh, recoup that investment, but it's not looking great for Reinbacher right now, just injury-wise. Play-wise, he's fine. He seems like he's gonna be a good if he can stay healthy, he's gonna be, I think, pretty good defenseman, but, the injuries obviously are a huge issue right now with Reinbacher, and he needs to play. He needs to play, and at this point, he probably needs a full season in Laval, which is just gonna you're gonna watch guys from that draft, like, pass him and get lots of points, and you're gonna be like, "Ugh, why did they draft this guy?" So far, he has been. So far, Reinbacher has not been able to stay healthy, and look at Josh Norris. Look at Josh Norris last night. The guy can't stay healthy. Injured his shoulder multiple times. We don't know what happened with him last night, but he injured his upper body on a faceoff last night, and they say he's gonna be out a significant amount of time. Look at Doc. Hasn't been able to stay healthy. Sometimes these guys shake it, sometimes they don't. And Reinbacher right now is with the finger thing, definitely starting to get that tag. Definitely starting to get the tag of an injured guy. Yeah, it's bad luck, and, like, one day the luck changes, and they're not injured anymore, and they're healthy and they're fine and nothing happens, and then sometimes they just keep getting hurt. So, fair, fair. Okay, you can mute you can mute me. Yeah, that's how I see it too. They needed a forward who could score like Bolduc more than they needed Mayu. Gordie Howe hat trick. I would love to see it. Well, you knew this was going to happen. Oh, Jack Eye again. I mean, I feel for Jack Eye. Does that really count? He's just not going to get a break. You just can't do it. You can't wrap your arms around the guy like that. Jack Eye, you're going to get singled out. Uh, well, I don't know what we're thinking about the Hawks power play. I mean, you'd think this is where Connor Bedard's going to shine, right? Like, this is what he's here for. Jake Evans almost had his first shorthanded. Yeah, I tried letting you guys know in the live blog, but I get it. But we're here for now until the comments are back on the main website. I wouldn't say they're upgrade. I wouldn't say we're upgrading the site. Fixing fixing some problems with the site. No, it is going to be upgraded. I kid, I kid. Just right now, they're just fixing stuff, and then we'll upgrade. Yeah, it's 2-2. The Rinzel man, he's had a good night. I mean, he didn't look good on that play, but paying the price for that penalty, whether or not it was a legit penalty or not, of course, that's up for debate. But it did get called. Mixing it up again. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why they're getting so chippy tonight. I I guess it was just the Goalie hit. The Goalie hit just must have sent I don't know. It came with a chip on their shoulder tonight. This is definitely a game that's going to be decided with special teams tonight. Yeah, it's kind of weird that like right now after every whistle, guys are getting tangled up, and then the time that Jack guy does it, he gets the power. You know, he goes off for the penalty. No, I get it. I get what you mean. That's true. He did, of course, score that goal. Yeah, I thought Bedard so far in the league has been his 2 seasons has been targeted a lot, and I think it's worked. I think it's worked. He's been like I don't think as like effective as people thought that he would be early on in his career. Yeah, honestly, I agree. Monty has not looked amazing so far. He's been a little shaky, and meanwhile, Dobish looked. Granted, it's Detroit. Looked great against Detroit. Looked really good against Detroit, actually. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long we have to go. Let's say if Monty keeps playing the way he's playing, the way Dobish keeps playing the way he's playing, if Marty's ever compelled to switch. Jacob Fowler looks like the real deal. Nothing wrong with the year in Laval. They're good. They're going to be really good this year. Pascal Vincent, great coach. They got great players in Laval. They could have another nice playoff run. Let Fowler cook. There's no reason to start the clock. That's the thing about goalies, man. Goalies, you start their clocks early, and then you're kind of screwed. Like you can't send them down, and goalie development is not linear. I worry about that with Dobesh a little bit, but he seems like his character seems to be pretty special for a goalie. He seems like not phased by anything, which when you compare that to like Primo, who is very phased, very phased after goals. Oh my god, are you guys arguing in the chat? Come on, don't argue in the chat. Love each other in the chat, or put up with each other in the chat. You can block people in this. You can block people in this chat. I did not know that. All right, well, your prerogative. Another Habs power play where they're just like they're setting up, but they're not getting it done. If you missed any of the goals, I am updating the live blog on the website as I normally do. So if you want to go and look at so far the 4 goals, or if you want to check out Caden Gooley nailing Frank Nazar and then getting into a fight, watch that as well. What a play by Doc. Whoa. You see it. You see that every so often from him. Man, he can like when he's moving and then he's controlling the puck. I can't believe it. It's a fourth straight. I guess well, 1 year he didn't play at all. Fourth year now of us talking about Kirby Doc and being like, maybe, just maybe this is the year. Ugh, but well, we're gonna talk about him for a long time to come, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, Dobish definitely had played amazing in Ohio State for what I assume is not as good a team. I didn't follow obviously Dobish too much in Ohio State, but he looks great. He looks great, and he looks just like ready to play. This has first period was a bit sloppy, and now the second period has been a lot of fun. Yeah, although they did score 2 power play goals tonight, so I guess they can justify it and say like, "Hey, we did score on the power play." So, yeah. Yeah, there's been a parade to the penalty box today. I guess when you play younger teams, you got the chance of that happening for sure. The referees are not gonna. cut them as much slack. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing with Laine, right? If he's not on the power play, like, why is he here? What is he doing here? He scored a goal tonight on the power play. They're gonna keep him. That's his job. Score power play goal. Happen a lot, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens. People in Pittsburgh seem pretty convinced he's gonna stay. So I don't know. I feel like they know. Yeah, this has been a fun period. This is also a possibility. Honestly, I heard people saying the other day, why wouldn't he? Like, I don't know. Let's say like Florida's contending again, and Barkov's off the on long term. Like, why would he be another of the 8 million guys who just go to Florida and don't pay taxes and get their championship? I could totally see that happening. Go to Vegas. Could you imagine sitting in Vegas? I'm sure the league would love it. I mean, you got to call that. I know it's getting silly, and I'm sure the guys, Chicago guys, are like, "Come on, what are you doing to us?" But oh, what do you guys think about that? What did you think about the? That was a Chicago coach, right? Who was just going like, "What did you think about that?" I'm like, "Come on." Do you think Josh Anderson is taking a dive? He's just gonna fall. He's gonna fall more likely to take a dive. I don't know. Josh Anderson doesn't seem to be like the kind of guy who's gonna do that. Dobson's got a bit of that Matheson thing where it's like he was never looking at Line A. I thought there was a couple instances where Line A was kind of open, and Dobson uh, is very angled to one side, and he didn't really see him. Yeah, that's a good point that Galley said. A reason why that we haven't seen Kapanen do much tonight is because Habs have been on the power play pretty much the whole time. I've talked about this with some of the Gazette guys before about how back in the day, all the Habs used to own taverns because obviously you were a hockey player, you didn't get paid enough money, so they all owned taverns and would work there in the summers. And I kind of miss that. I kind of miss that that era a little bit. But obviously, if you're making millions of dollars, you're probably not going to be pouring drinks in the summer. But Toe Blake's Tavern. Damn, I wish I'd been to Toe Blake's Tavern. That sounds amazing. Could you imagine seeing practice at Virgin Auditorium? I feel like they wouldn't do it anymore, but the Habs should do like a little barnstorming practice thing. Like do practices at like little places around town. They never do it. I'm sure the collective bargaining agreement prevents it, but it would be lots of fun. Damn. Lots of brawls in the tavern, really? The Toe Blake's Tavern or Yvon Lambert's Tavern? Any tavern. Crazy. That's a fun gig. Goal judge. I don't know how many of those gigs are still around. Goal judges and like they used to have the ushers. They still have ushers, but not as many ushers, that's for sure. Henry Richard's Tavern. We should put up like little like statues or something, little monuments around town and be like, this is where Toe Blake's Tavern used to be. And this is where Yvon Lambert's Tavern used to be. That would be fun. I feel like people would do that tour. People love that kind of stuff. I don't know the Rigi's Tavern. What was going down in there? What was going down at this tavern? I want to know. Well, every time you see construction in Montreal, and there's a lot of construction in Montreal, you still see those Dickie Moore, uh, well, like trucks where I guess where the guys stay. Welcome. I know we're over here tonight. It's okay. It's been all right so far. Game's been a bit up and down. Uh, Habs are pretty sloppy in the first. Yes, you did. We did tequila shots. No, I have a Guinness that I'm drinking very, very slowly. I have to remain somewhat professional. I drink one beer the entire game, and then when I file about last night, I have another drink, and then I'm good. Oh my god, could you imagine if he did that as a Hab? Imagine when the series of events where the Canadiens don't trade for Kirby Doc, and they keep that pick, and they draft Nazar, and then he comes up, and then tonight ducks a hit in a very physical game between two young teams. We never hear the end of it. I mean, that's really at the end of the day, right? I know we hear a lot about, like, we were talking about Reinbacher earlier, and it was like, oh, maybe they could have drafted Mishkov, you can Mishkov and Nazar and Logan Cooley. It's pretty clear that the Canadiens are just not gonna draft these small forwards with their first round picks. But they're gonna it's really another penalty. 10 power plays tonight. Oh my god. Anderson again. That's always my favorite message when the Habs have an inept power play. Yeah, I agree. The stick's there. Anyone ever go to the Rockets Tavern on the Main? Oh man, that sounds like fun. That sounds like a good night. I mean, forget hockey player owned taverns. There aren't that many taverns in general anymore. A sports bar is not a tavern. Mark, we were talking about this earlier in the game. Is the Hutson contract negotiation a distraction? Because he has not looked like himself in the first 3 games of the season. Ugh, that's a brutal stat. That PK's been busy. I think they were saying Vlasic had already played more than 10 minutes on the PK tonight, just on the PK. Yeah, it's been a mixed bag this season. They were good for most of the Toronto game, lost it in the third. They were great against Detroit. This has not been an impressive game. This has been pretty sloppy. Yeah, is it a matter that they just have too many guys and they're just like they haven't they tinkered around with the combination too much. I was a little surprised they put Bold Duke on the first unit. I know they wanted somebody on the bumper, but I thought last year in the playoffs, we all agreed that the young gun power play of like Hutson at the point and Suzuki, and then Caulfield. Yeah, it's gonna be a penalty for sure. Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Demidov was like the thing we wanted to see, and like now we're just not getting that. So Nazar in the action again, and yeah, I mean, it's two sticks impaled with two sticks. There's no doubt about that. That's a definite penalty. It's gonna be the Hawks score here, man. The Habs can't say that they didn't get every opportunity to win this game. If they let this slip away on this power play, no one to blame but themselves. That's true. Any complaints so far are complaints specific to the game itself. I won't say that the sky is falling. I promise. Rinzel looks so good. He was like, I remember when they drafted him, he was like one of those Minnesota high school kids, and I was having visions of David Fisher. If you guys remember David Fisher, the failed Habs draft pick, but nah, he's the real deal. I mean, he's already past like he's probably a better prospect than like Lavushov and say like Krasinski was the other guy they made a reach on. No exercise is allowed in this. No exercise allowed in the chat. We're not insured. If any of you get hurt, nice block, Matheson. Got no stick though. Get your stick. Miracle. God, can't believe how long the puck was in the Hab zone with a broken stick. 2 on 1. Suzuki ends up in the middle of the ice, shoots it low on Knipe, and Knight's got it. Mm. Yeah. I mean, Chicago had that power play, and then Matheson had the broken stick, and they just dominated for another few minutes. That was, that put a little hair on the knuckles. Yeah, Chicago's like in Suzuki's defense, Spencer Knight has a very big chest. He's a big dude. Takes up a lot of room, but would have been nice if he had dished. I don't really know why he sort of slowly went to the middle of the ice and then shot. I feel like it would have made more sense to dish it and try to get the one timer. You have to get the goalie moving. By the way, guys, I don't know if you guys can find it. Maybe I'll try to find it for you later. It's on, I believe I saw it on Instagram video. It was an interview with Chris Kreider, and he was talking about. They're like, "Oh, how did you like go from being sort of this like 20 goal guy, and then you had that like 40 goal season?" And he was talking a lot about just practicing, just getting with being in spots where the goalie has to move laterally. And then he was like, honestly, he's like, once you figure out that pass, you shoot without even looking. Like you just shoot, and he's like, the goalie has like a 66% chance of getting it, but you just keep doing it without looking, and yeah, might score. Are the Felinos to Sudbury like the Stalls are to Thunder Bay? Is that the first family of Sudbury? It was so weird. I was looking at. I remember I was writing up about the Toronto game, and the final hits in that was like 55-49 or something like that. And I was like, what? Like nobody hit each other all night. Who in Toronto? Who in Toronto is put, putting the stats together? Because they were watching a different game from me. So I'm surprised that this is an 18-12. But I guess like mugging guys with your glove doesn't count as a hit technically. Yes, I like that we don't all have the same name on here, but we've all started to identify who might be who around here, which is funny to me. In any case, thank you very much for coming. I very much appreciate it. Otherwise, I would just be talking to myself all night, and that would be weird. So I very much appreciate you guys coming and hanging out tonight, and I hope the Canadians, for your sake, will make it worth your while. There's still a good 9 minutes to go in this game. The Chicago Blackhawks are still the Chicago Blackhawks and could easily give up a horrible play or do something terrible. But honestly, outside of taking a million penalties, have been pretty decent. I honestly can't say that they've played that poorly. Uh, they gave the Canadians an opportunity to win on the power play, but they have not taken advantage. Yeah, not everyone has made it to the YouTube, which I anticipated that not everybody would want to come on the YouTube, but, hey, you never know. I'll keep doing them and, yeah, hopefully people will find it. Or we'll fix the comments, which would be maybe the ideal scenario. Hey, guys, in the Islanders game, first overall pick Matthew Schaefer has scored his first NHL goal, and it was kind of a fun one. He just, like, dove in and impaled there was a loose puck in front, and he just kinda dove in and stabbed the puck in the net. So that was a nice one. Bolduc. We gotta give it up for Bolduc, Mark. Bolduc's had a good game, right? Yeah, Bolduc. Yeah. 100%. If the Canadiens wanna be legit contenders, they can't be giving away 2 points to the Blackhawks. This can't happen. These games can't happen. The same thing happened last year too, though. Underwhelmed against mediocre teams and then rifled off, like, 8 straight wins against, like, Vegas and other teams, but that's unsustainable. They need to win these gimmies, and they need to win a gimme. They need to beat Seattle on Tuesday. I don't wanna put, like, too fine a point on, like, I know it's early in the season, but, like, they don't wanna be, you know, 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 1 and 5 or whatever. Just don't want to. Just you make your life so much harder. Yeah, so the Wednesday game, the Jays were playing. So we were talking a lot about this, about who's rooting for the Jays, who as an Expo fan cannot. It was very interesting. It's very mixed. It's mixed at the office too. The newsroom is pretty split as well. We do have a lot of Jays fans, but we do have some diehards who will not cheer for the Jays. I'm guessing Jack Todd's not cheering for the Jays. That would be my guess. I haven't asked him. It would be my guess. Hawks power play with 6:19 to go. I mean, God, the Hawks took 10 penalties. You knew the refs were going to give it back a little bit. Uh, and Nazar in the middle of it again. Oh, those high sticks, man. But I mean, it's not often that the Canadians, they're a young team, but they're playing another very young team. I believe these are the two youngest teams in the league. So, the Canadians have met their match in terms of just like energy tonight. Very interesting question. Is the early season sloppiness, the stats, which don't favor the Habs in combining all three games, a coaching flaw? I will say that Marty definitely took their slow start last year personally. He did basically say it was a coaching thing, that he didn't prepare the team enough. So, yeah, honestly, if they have another slow start, he supposedly did a lot in camp to ensure this does not happen again, and if it happens again, then yeah, totally is a coaching thing. By his own admission, it would be. Yeah, I mean, isn't that the whole thing here? I mean, we're trying out we're getting a look here at Doc and Newhook and Kapanen and these guys again, but at the end of the day, Demidov's gonna be the guy who makes that second line go, and are any of those guys a good enough center to play with them? The answer right now is no. Uh, but I mean, Demidov's also a rookie, so he's not it's unfair to expect him to carry a line right now. Maybe when he does carry a line, one of these guys will be better, but that's a really tricky thing that the Canadians are gonna have to figure out. Who is the actual second line center and where they're gonna get him? It doesn't seem like they have one right now. Back to even strength. 4 minutes to go. Tied 2-2. I mean, we can't say. I mean, Montembeault looked a bit. Didn't look great early on, but I'll say as the night has progressed and they've needed him more, I think Montembeault's played pretty well. I mean, no one ever expected Oliver Kapanen to be the second line center. He's come into camp looking really good. Looks like a guy with a lot of potential. But yeah, I don't think I think it's a real stretch to say that he's got the any potential to be a second center. I don't think that's what anybody has him pegged at. But the fact that I think Oliver Kapanen's already gotten into the conversation, people already think more highly of him than like Newhook or Doc. No, no one said he was a second line center. No one has said no, no, no. Alex, you misunderstand me. I'm not saying anyone says he's a second line center. I'm saying that he might be the second line center by default right now, just because he's already like people already think kinda like him a little more than what they've seen from Doc and Newhook, but, no, I don't think there's a second line center in that group, but I do think that if they try to find something internal, those are the guys they're gonna look at, and I don't even know if they're gonna look at Newhook much anymore. So it might just be a Doc Kapanen situation. We'll see. Oh my god, did they really say that? That's not good. I don't think that's, yeah. I'm as shocked as you are. I'm not saying they didn't say that, I'm sure they said that. I'm sure they hyped him up. He's looked really good so far in parts of the season so far. I'm sure he's gonna be a good player, but yeah, I certainly haven't put him as a second. I'm not putting him as a second. Anybody know? Somebody said earlier. Somebody must be watching. I know I did. No, I didn't. I might have one after though. I might go hit up Julep afterwards, after I file. Why not? I agree. I think Struble. Well, maybe not because it's the season the home opener on Tuesday. So they might want to reward like not make changes and reward the guys who made the opening night lineup before making the changes. Oh, I'm sure Marty doesn't like to do that. I don't think any coach really does, but I mean, let's be real. There's there is a hierarchy in all things. Go Brewers. No, I don't care much about the Brewers. Will the Hawks do it? Will the Hawks make that deal? I don't think so. I don't know. Well, the Habs are doing very well in face-off, so that's good. Yeah, let's it's my Saturday night. I don't wanna be here too late. We got 3:09 here. Let's end this yeah, let's get a little 4 on 4. I like 4 or sorry, a little 3 on 3. Let's do a little 3 on 3. Yeah, I don't like what went down with Pizzetta here. I thought it was just weird to, like, do that, to just, like, bench him for, like, 3 months at a time, but I think you'll see Struble and Veleno before too long. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody who's celebrating. If you're an American, enjoy Thanksgiving, in a month or so from now. To everybody celebrating here, happy Thanksgiving, and thanks for coming. The power play thing is definitely gonna sit with the Habs for a while, no doubt about it. Yeah, the Hawks came back. The Habs got a bunch of power plays, didn't cash in, and then the Hawks came back. Not a good look. Timur, you don't know how much I'm hoping and praying that for me and for you guys, honestly. It's it was a big shock to enter the season and then suddenly realize that the comments weren't working. It was not what I was expecting at all, but you know, make it do. New Hook has been okay tonight. He's I think like the offense is like out the window. Like the offense for New Hook's out the window. I don't think he's ever gonna be like a big offensive player, but he's got the speed and he's got the jam. He could still be a pretty effective, like, middle six player. No, but I am hoping to bring in guests. If this takes off and it does well and, like, people want me to keep doing it, I may consider bringing guests in. I already told, like, Stu and Herb and, well, they work the game, so it's, like, hard for them to do it, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they, if it's, like, a road trip or something, they're watching from home, so it's possible. 15 seconds to go. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Wow. I mean, just a nobody knows where the puck's just bouncing everywhere. Nobody knows where it is. That one I thought Hutson had a good chance. There's the shot. I mean, Slavkovsky's there. I mean, you love seeing Slav in front like that. Yeah. No, not a challenge, but they're calling a timeout. But he's mad. Jeff Blashill's mad. What do you think Jeff Blashill's going to tell his boys after this game? They gave up 10 power plays, still came back, almost won, and then just like gave gave up a goal with 15 seconds to go. I think the not that skilled thing, I get what you're saying. He's not like first overall pick skilled, but his combination of like size and what he can do with that size is like pretty like it makes him talented. But you're right, he's not like a lottery pick skill. So, considering they used a first overall pick for him, however you feel about that, you know, maybe not the guy. But because of his big size, his talents are, like, a little more magnified. Thanks for coming. I'm so happy that this has worked out as well as it could possibly work out. That's true. Do you like this format? Good. I'm glad you like this format. I mean, the chat's fun. You guys are having fun. Well, that's it, guys. All right. Well, thanks, y'all. We'll see you on Tuesday. I will do the Tuesday game. So Tuesday against the Kraken, the home opener. I'll be there. I'll be here. So tune in and yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend and enjoy your Thanksgiving, Canadian Thanksgiving.